All right, let's get ready for the Chapter 3 test here. This first section will review for targets 3.1a, b, and c. These are the equations and expressions section. So we got Bill's age b plus 7. Well, Bill's age b and plus 7. That's really straightforward. You can see Bill's age is here, and the plus 7 is here. That's what we're looking for. Dan's age d. Well, here's Dan's age d. Decreased means subtract by 17. Dan's age decreased by 17. The quotient of a number and 4. Quotient means division, so we could write this as a number divided by 4. More than likely on the test, you will see it as a number divided by 4. All right, twice the sum of a number and 3 is 20. Now they get a little harder here. So this equals 20. We know that. That's the easy part. But twice the sum of a number. This tells me that I'm going to have a set of parentheses in here. So here's my twice. The sum of a number and 3. So let's just use n for our number and 3. So 2 times or twice the sum of a number and 3 is 20. All right, 3 times a number n less 3 is 27. So we know it equals 27. Got the easy part. 3 times a number would be 3n. Less 3, that means minus 3, is 27. Okay, 3 times the difference between a number and 6 is 28. This is a hard one again. So here's my 28, but I see this word difference. That tells me I need to use parentheses again. So here's my 3 times, and here's my parentheses. So 3 times the difference between a number and 6. So there's the difference between number and 6 inside the parentheses, times 3 is 28. Okay, the students in 5th hour math divided themselves into 4 groups. So here's my students. They divided themselves into 4 groups, and there was 8 students in each group. Or the students divided by 4 groups, 8 in each group. This is probably the way you're going to see it in the test. We're going to use the fraction bar. Sam bought some books that were all the same price. He bought 3 of them, and a bookmark for $4 at half-price books, and he paid 16. So we know it equals 16. And so there's 3 books. So here's my 3 books. And a $4 bookmark, so that would be plus 4 equals 16. All right, here we're going to be using the inverse operation to isolate. So we got to balance and isolate here. So don't just cross Q out here and write down 6 and think that you've gotten this correct. That's not what the target is. The target is to subtract 6 from both sides because this is an addition equation. Plus 6 minus 6, that just equals 0. So we have 6 equals Q. And if you want, you can take and put railroad tracks in there. Mrs. Carlton, students, you follow whatever she has recommended. I do not require kids to put railroad tracks in for one-step equations, but when we get down into the 2-step equations, I do require them. All right, you will be required in 7th grade. So we have h minus 12 equals 12. This is a subtraction equation, so I'll add 12 to both sides. Minus 12 plus 12, they cross off. We've got h left and equals 24. Pop those in. All right, so we have 4 times the number x equals 20. So well, the opposite of multiplication is division, so we're just going to divide both of these by 4. Notice how I use the division bar. 4 divided by 4 is 1x, or just x. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Okay, c divided by 14 equals 2. And they said to rewrite it as a fraction. Yes, I agree. C divided by 14 equals 2. Get that slid up so you can see it. This time I'm going to use the railroad tracks to help me stay organized here. So this is divided by 14, so the opposite of that is to multiply by 14. If you want to think about it as 14 over 1, you can. You can also think about that as 1c if that helps you. You can think about that as 2 over 1 if that helps. Either way, the 14 is going to cross off and you're just going to be isolated. You'll have isolated c, and that equals, well, this would be 2 times 14, which is 28, divided by 1, which is just 28. Okay? I usually don't do all that. I usually just do c divided by 14 equals 2, and I just multiply by 14 here. I multiply by 14 here. C is isolated in 28. But it's kind of nice to put the ones there if you're not sure why that works. Okay, 3.7AB up here in the top. We need to get up farther. We need to create a table for this. So here's my table, here's my x and y. Did they tell me the values? Use 0, 1, and 2 for x values. So 0, 1, and 2. So I think the easiest way to do this is just to substitute them in. So if I put 0 in there, 0 plus 3 would be 3. If I put 1 in there, 1 plus 3 would be 4. And if I put 2 in there, 2 plus 3 would be 5. Now the next one, it just says to graph those points. Yeah, these are coordinates. 0, 3. So over 0, up 3. Over 1, up 4. And over 2, up 5, I believe. Over 2, where's my 5? There. Hey, I'm kind of impressed. That's a fairly straight line. Not bad for an old guy. I still got it. This one here, 15, create a table for line graph below. Okay, well now we'll just take the coordinates right off the graph. And you can use any of these points, but let's stay positive. So let's stay right here. If this is our origin, or 0, and this is 2, that means that this little mark right here must be 1. So this is going to be over 0 and up 1. It's halfway. And this one is going to be over 1, and then we went up 2. And this one here looks like we're over 2. And we're going to go up here, which is halfway between 2 and 4. So that's going to be 3. So it looks like we're always adding 1 here. And that's what they're asking here. Write an equation for this. Well, this is y is equal to whatever x is plus 1. And you can see that right here too. You can see the y-intercept at 0, 1. So there's that plus 1. Okay, and if you talked about slope, you can see that really it has the same slope as a line that goes just right through the origin like this. You know, y equals x. These lines would be parallel, even though it doesn't look like it. So the slope on that is 1. All right, here we have to isolate these and balance using railroad tracks. Let me just draw in my graphic organizer so I'm ready to roll. Makes life a lot simpler. I know exactly what I need to do. All right, so let me get rid of the minus 6 by adding 6 to both sides. Okay, so now I'm left with 2m equals 24. That's 18 plus 6. So now I'm going to get rid of 2 times m by dividing by 2. We'll use the fraction bar, not the division sign. 2 divided by 2 is nothing, or 1, just 1m, or just m, they cross off. And you got 24 divided by 2, which is 12. And you can pop it in up there if you want, just to see if it works. 2 times 12 is 24, minus 6 is 18. We're going to rewrite this problem, and we'll do it correctly. M divided by 5 plus 2 equals 8. Let's put my graphic organizer in here for a two-step equation. All right, so let's get rid of this positive 2, the plus 2, by subtracting 2 from both sides. They cross off. Plus 2 minus 2 is 0. So you're just left with m divided by 5 equals 6. Now we'll get rid of the divided by 5 by multiplying by 5 on both sides. There's that balance component. Those 5s are going to cross off. Now you've isolated the m, and 6 times 5 is 30. I'm not sure if it works. Let's just go ahead and put it in right up in the original. 30 divided by 5 is 6, plus 2 equals 8. Ba-bam. Checks out. All right, thanks a lot for listening. Okay, let's take a look at the second page of this review here. So I'll get that a little bit bigger for you. There we go. All right, so what is the area of a rectangle with a length of 12 and a width of 6? So let's draw this out. So it has a length of 12. It has a width of 6. Okay, the area, well, for the area, you just multiply those two numbers together. So 6 times 12 is equal to 72, and that's going to be centimeters squared. So if you think about it, it's really like 12 lines here, 6 lines here. They're all these little teeny miniature squares. Okay, next one is, what is the perimeter of a square that has a side of 8? Well, if it has a side of 8, that means all sides are 8, right? Because it's a square, so the perimeter will be 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, or 32. Now up here, this is the area. This is the perimeter. This here, just for a bonus here, we can give you the perimeter of that. It would be 12 plus 6 plus 12 plus 6, which is the same as 18 plus 18. So the perimeter here would be 36, and that would just be centimeters. This is also just feet, because it's 8 feet here, 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 and here. It's like walking in a square. It's linear. Okay, what is the area of this parallelogram? Well, the area of a parallelogram is just like a rectangle. The formula is base times height. Here's the base. Here's the height. So it's just 8 times 4. So this is going to be 32 centimeters squared. This is just a distractor. You would need that if you were looking for the perimeter, but not for the area. Base times height. Okay, what is the area of a parallelogram with a base of 20, right, and a height of 6? Okay, what is the area of a parallelogram with a base of 20 and a height of 6, and sides that are 8 millimeters? So these are 8 over here. Well, again, it's base times height. It's 6 times 20, which equals 120, and that's millimeters squared. Right here. You just double check my work. Base 20, height 6, sides, and then I just connected everything to it. Alright, what is the area of this triangle? Well, this is the base times height divided by 2. So here's the base, 14, times height, which is 10. And we have to divide that by 2. So 14 times 10 is 140. Divided by 2 is 70. And that's going to be meters squared. What is the area of a triangle with a base of 12 and a height of 8? Same thing. Base times height, 8 times 12. Then we're going to divide it by 2. 8 times 12 is 96. Divided by 2. This is 48. And that's going to be, they don't mention what it is, so it's just going to be units squared. The area of this trapezoid. Okay, well, the area of a trapezoid uses this formula, 1/2 height times the base plus the base. I like this formula better. Base plus base times the height, and then I divide everything by 2. It's easier to put into the calculator. So I'm gonna do it that way if you don't mind. So the base plus the base is 6 plus 8. I'll do it over here, 6 plus 8. We're going to multiply that by the height of 4, and we'll divide the whole thing by 2. I'm just going to work down here. So 6 plus 8 is 14 times 4 divided by 2. 14 times 4 is 56 divided by 2. 56 divided by 2 is 28. 28 units squared. Do the same thing for this one. What's the area of this trapezoid? So here the base is 5 plus 12. Multiply it by the height, which is 4. Divide the whole thing by 2. So 5 plus 12 is 17 times 4. Divide that out by 2. 17 times 4 is 68. Divide that all by 2. 68 divided by 2 is 34 centimeters squared. All right, good luck on the test.